Hello guys, welcome to YouTube video tutorial. This is our third tutorial about how to create a login application with PHP and MySQL. So for this tutorial we need to use our text editor. For text editor I mean to use about Visual Studio Code. So you can use Notepad++, Sublime Text or anything which is suitable for you. So let's get started. We need to create a new file, that is authenticate.php. so copy the file and create a new file, save this file as authenticate.php, and we need to use some code here, so PHP, and we need to ensure that if we need to check if the form has been submitted. If form has been submitted, press login. The page isn't working right now because there is a problem. So what I'm trying to do is if not empty $post username and not empty $post password, echo, or I need to print our $post. So open the browser and reload it, and we just need to refresh admin. So you can see that we have this username as admin and password is password. So we have these values, so we need to make username equal to should be $post username and password is $post password. If we didn't mention, if the $post and $post password username and password field is empty, we need to refresh the page, rewrite the user header, location. The location should be index.html, and let's see, reload it and reload again. If I press the login button, there is a client side validation. You can see if I make some changes, you can see, please fill this in this field. So we need to check for this, so delete this required attribute and also this one. So reload and click on it. You can see the page is refreshes and redirected to the index.html file. So our client side validation and also as well as our server side validation is working. So we need to undo, because we need to use the required attribute on these input fields. So now we have this authenticate.php and we have username and password. So what we need to do is we need to use some variable, that is db host, that is local host, db username, so you can make it as user is we have made the user, that is login admin. $db, that was our db password, or we can make a db pass, that is our password. db, that is going to be our name, and the database name is our login. So we need to put this db host, db user, and db pass, and db name. So you can see the host is localhost and the user is login admin. We have created this admin, which is our login admin and localhost database, and you can see our password is I have used the password is password, PASSWORD. So after this we have the password and the database name is login. Here you can see the login. And now we need to use the database connection. So for this we need to make dbc equal to MySQL connect, and first one should be the host, so the db host, second one db user, third one db pass, and fourth one is going to be db name. So let's see if $dbc echo success. So reload reload this, enter your admin, that is we have just choose, that is let's see in the user the John Doe, JOHNDOE, and we have made password. So login. So you can see that database connection is successful. So we don't need this right now. And after that what we're trying to do is, that is $dbc, we need to make the query. So the SQL is make the SQL variable, select star from that is the table is user, select star from user where the username is question mark, and also there is and password is question mark. This is our SQL query, that we need to get all of the thing from the database table by using username, where username is question mark and password is question mark. So after that, now what we need to do is we need to make a SQL or we can make it as query, and that will need to be dbc, and we need to use prepare method, and that is our SQL. And for this you need to check if there is an error, echo $query, not query, that is dbc error, and reload, and we need to reload this page, and now type John Doe, and we have password and login, don't save. So you can see that this page is not showing any error, and also we need to mention you that whenever I'm using on this Linux environment, I need to use the error reporting, because this is very helpful for the debugging for your if anything goes wrong. So at first I need to use that is error reporting ini set display errors 1, and before that we need to use error reporting all, this one. So if anything goes wrong, error reporting all. So there is some problem, I think. Error reporting unexpected. Okay, we need to use this semicolon to end this statement, because let's change something, that is we need to we are going to call echo $var. So we don't have any variable, and let's reload it. Recent, you can see undefined variable var, and if we uncomment it, reload recent, you can see we don't see the error message. So we need to use this error reporting functions, and we need to close this echo, and we don't have any error right now. So what we need to do is right now is $query bind param. First one would be ss, then username for the first query. You can see this one, the question mark is here, and the password. As you can see, our password is encrypted with SHA-1 method. You can see in our database, that is login, and you can see the password is encrypted in SHA method, SHA-1 method. So we need to change this password, so we can use the SHA-1 method, the built-in method, that is SHA-1, and make it inside this function, and we need to reload the page. Before doing that, and we have this bind parameter, that we have binding this parameter also. Now what we need to do is $query execute, this one. So we need to use that is result. I think it should work, and then result, that is get result. We need to use the query, inside the query we need to execute, and let's delete this one, and the result variable should be query get result, then fetch assoc, and we need to print out this result variable. So let's go to our page, reload, resend. You can see we have an array, that is ID is 1, username, and the username is Chondo, password is this one, and email is chondo@example.com. So now we have this result which is working. If we make some changes, admin, password, and login, don't save, so you can see we don't see any output from the PHP server. So after this we need to make an if statement, and that is count. Count is a built-in function in PHP to see if there is any values inside the array. So the count $result, if count result greater than 0, echo user user is exist, else echo user doesn't exist. So let's see, reload, recent. Count parameter must be an array or an object, but implements countable in on line 24 user doesn't exist. So if count $result greater than 0, so we can also make these changes, that is select count. You can use the count function on our MySQL. So count, I'm using count, and here we are going to use this count, and I don't need this right now. Okay, so fetch as well, we need to see if there is anything. Print r $result, and we need to comment the function, reload. So count star is 0, you can see here, and we need to name this count function as like count. Okay, so reload, present. So count is 0. So after the fetch assoc, we need to use count. I think this one. Reload, 0, you can see 0, and press back, use write username John Doe, password, login. So you can see 1. So delete this, uncomment the if else function, statement, and if $result, if result is 1, you can say the 1 as true. I can make comment, 1 is true and 0 is false. So if we reload and echo user is exist, resend, user is exist, and press back, make some error, login, user doesn't exist, because we have we did password mistakes, because you need to make it as username or password combination did not matched, and you can use the reload, resend, username or password combination did not matched. So this output is good for us. And now we need to check, we have made some checking with this. Now what we need to do is we need to so delete this one, and after that we need to use the session variable. So we need to call the session before from the top. So we need to use session start, we are going to start the session. So here $session, that will be our let's say $session user info, and we're going to use array, and user info, the array would be user name. Username is going to be $username, and is logged in is going to be true. So this one, and print out this session variable to see user info. So reload, resend, and right now we don't see this print session variable. So let's go back to the browser and use John Doe, enter password and press login. So array to string conversation, what have we making wrong? Print, okay, we need to make print r. So reload, resend, let's see, you can see that username is John Doe and user logged in is true. You can say 1, as I previously said that 1 means equal to true and 0 means false. So this one, so we have this, and we're going to use header location, that is make a new file that is going to be our admin dot not main profile.php, and else if result equal to 0 false, we're going to header location, that is index.html, this one. So reload our Mozilla Firefox, resend, you can see profile.php file is not exist right now. So if you make some changes, make the anything that is admin and something password, login, and the PHP server is redirecting the user when he mistakes with the username and password that is not in our database. So you can see we have placeholder username, so we need to change it. So index.html, enter password, so change it right now, reload, we have this. Now what we need to do is we need to create a new file here, and create new file, that is profile.php, and we need to start a session, that is session start. After that, what we need to do is, that is if is set if not, or you can say if empty $session, that is our user info, or you can make it as isset, if isset $session user info, that is make if not is set, we're going to make it is not is set. Then we're going to redirect the user to the header location index.html. Let's see. And if user trying to open from here, that is profile.php, enter, and I think there is some problem. We need to get the error reporting variables from here and need to paste after the session start. So reload. There is some problem, I think. If not is set $session user info. Okay, we have the user session enabled because we already in a session, because the session is created. Inspect element, and there is our storage, and there is a local host that you can see PHP session ID. Delete this item and reload. That you can see the PHP server is redirecting us to the index.html file. So reload, go to profile.php again. That you can see the PHP server is redirecting us to the index.html file. So now here we have made this. After that, we need to check that if the user is exist. So for this we need to implement it. As you know, the PHP session ID is not you cannot see the variable, because okay, at first we need to log in from the John Doe, and the password is here, and press login button. Don't save, and we are in a profile page, and inspect.element, and we have the storage. You can see the PHP session ID has the value, but we cannot see the value. That is we have this value, and that you can see PHP session ID RLD6I2N, this one. So it is not explaining us what is the username and password is. So what we need to do is we need to do something session user info, and we're going to use the password. That is, password is going to be the password. Yes, this is going to be very nice for us, because we are not calling the database command here, just using the password, because we know that the user is exist, that we have used this count method, and we have got the result that is going to return 1, and we have this password. So inside the profile section we need to print out, we need to see $printer, that is $session user info. So inside Mozilla Firefox, reload. Okay, we need to log out from it, so delete this localhost PHP session ID. So reload. We're in index.html. Again log in with John Doe and enter the password. Enter. Don't save. So we are in a profile page, and you can see the password, and only we are seeing this password. No one will see this password, because we are in a development version. Now you are in a development environment, and now we can see this password, and now we need to check here. That is, again we are going to use this SQL method. That is, okay, we need to use the configuration file. So here we need to use the config.php, and here we need to copy this thing from here to here. So cut it and require, use require, that is config.php, and inside the config we need to paste this thing. Before that we need to use the tag, PHP tag, and we need to indent it. So you can see I have included this configuration.php, and I don't need to retype this thing again and again. So we need to go to the profile page, and here we are going to include or require, that is our configuration file, config.php, and after that we are going to use these codes, copy it inside the profile. Here paste these codes, and we have this counts, select count star as count from user, where username equal to question mark and password equal to question mark. And now we need to use our username, that is username equal to, that should be $session user info, and there will be array, that is array value is that is going to be our username, and password should be $session user info password. Okay, we have this one, and also we can make user logged in $session user info user logged in is logged in. So we need to see from the authenticate that it is logged in. So we have three variables here, and now what we're going to see is you have this username, this one, and password is this one, and the password is the encrypted password. So you can see here from echo $password, and reload this password, we can see. So we have this result, and reload it and echo the result again. We should see 1 from the result, that is 1. And now what we are going to use, that is if $, you can copy this thing, this if result, if else statement, and here we need to paste if result. Now we need to work on it. If result is going to be false, or you can use if not result is 1, and if you use exclamation mark before 1, it will going to be false, not 1 equal to false. So if not result, we're going to redirect the user to the index.php index.html file. So reload it, you can see the user is already logged in, and we have this session. And why we have checked this is because sometimes some user is using this cookie to save, you can see the cookie, and there is lots of add-on there that is to save the cookie. So we need to check it again inside our profile file. So here we have this location.index.html.
So this is the end of our tutorial. On next chapter we will style our login page. Also we will create our profile page that we will create. So thanks for watching. See you next time.